In effective communication, speakers do not only communicate using with their words, but also with their actions. They should also see to it that the actions they make must match with what they say. Otherwise, miscommunication may take place. Communication using words is called verbal communication, while communication without words, such as facial expression and hand gestures, is called nonverbal communication. Verbal communication is the use of words in sharing information with other people. It can include both spoken and written communication. The purpose of communication is to convey information to others. Through the choice of written and spoken words, ideas are exchanged. Unfortunately, miscommunication is common. Many times that participants in a communication process fail to understand what are said or written. Possible barriers to verbal communication. People themselves participating in the interaction can be the barriers. They may have poor infirmities such as poor hearing or eyesight, and others stutter. People have different opinions and beliefs. They follow cultural mores, or they adhere to society's attitude toward gender and sexuality, business practices, and religious beliefs. The topic may also be a barrier to communication because of its vagueness, complexity, emotional pull, or hidden agenda. There may be noise in the physical setting and in the participants themselves. External noise is the noise that occurs in the environment, outside of the listener. An example of external noise would be the hum of a loud fan. On the other hand, internal noise is the noise also called a psychological noise. Describe internal distractions that hinder communication. For example, fear, depression, or anger. It may cause him or her to become muddled in the communication, hence hindering understanding or clear speech. Lastly, the language choice. The linguistic differences among the participants can be a barrier to communication. Some words used by the speaker may mean different things to others. The factors mentioned above can lead to their inability to deliver, listen to, and respond appropriately to the message. Nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is the transmission of messages without using words. It is conveyed as visual cues like gestures and facial expressions. Nonverbal communication includes the following. First, language of gestures. Gestures are the most often used type of nonverbal communication. To be more understandable and interesting to a listener, the speaker must accompany his or her speech with gestures. But one has to consider the culture of the receiver, because gestures have different meanings in other places. In the Philippines and other countries, nodding means yes, but it is opposite in the Middle East. Second, facial expression. The face plays a very important role in communication. It expresses various types of emotions or feelings, such as joy, sorrow, anger, annoyance, confusion, fear, hatred, or surprise. Language of colors. People choose colors based on the meaning of each. Colors have certain meanings based on the dictates of culture and gender. In the Philippines, most parents prepare everything in blue for the baby boys and pink for the baby girls. People wear black when they grieve, while others wear white. Fourth, language of flowers. Flowers are also used to say what we cannot express in words. Fifth, language of space. Language of space or proxemics is the use of space based on importance. Sixth, language of time. Language of time or chronemics is the use of time based on position and power. Seventh, posture and body orientation. How one stands or sits tells the people around how one sees oneself as a speaker, how he or she sees the listeners, and his attitude toward the message. And lastly, language of touch. Language of touch, also known as haptics, can also be used to express what cannot be said. On the other hand, paralanguage refers to how of saying something other than what is said. Rarely does communication take place without being accompanied or substituted by any of these types of nonverbal communication. One must always remember that all of these are culture-bound or specific to some cultures but not in others. Communication breakdown takes place when culture concepts clash or simply do not meet.